Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. This is a topic that's very near and dear to me because I do think the initiative process is grossly overused. I don't think that people generally hear or see or read everything that's on the ballot because it's so complex and in legalese. And then the title and summary is done another way, and oftentimes a no means a yes. So I think we've been, the initiative system is clearly abused. But I find that when an initiative comes, also we have to remember that a lot of these things are polled and certain things are included because if they don't pass without them, then they're shoved in the initiative because the initiative proponents want to pass, not a fail. And in essence, we have gotten out of the business of legislating because we pass initiatives here on the floor, or certain members do, rather than cast an honest vote and actually run the state. So I do believe there needs to be reform. But the reform does not need to be on the voter-driven side of the initiative process. The reform needs to be on the side that comes out of this House. We are elected to govern. We are elected to represent. And if in fact we feel very strongly about something, we ought to get together, hold enough hearings to find some way to get enough votes to get things done in this building without the legislature passing initiatives. If the legislature wants to raise taxes, the legislature may do so, but don't go put something on the ballot that you won't vote for on the floor and then in fact promote it in your district as a need. And I think this is what happens. We are not looked well upon because we're not assuming responsibility of the office we hold. So I don't really want to see the voters denied if they run an initiative and they get the signatures and then they bring it up here. There's more pressure, more time constraints, there's more money involved in negotiating with the legislative deal, and then who knows if what the signatures were originally gathered for is still what the people who signed the petitions wanted. So I think that's kind of a falsehood in advertising. If somebody's going out with a petition, at least the people signing the petition ought to know exactly what they're signing for. So I ask you to look at this process in a more serious light, but I think the changes need to come from how we determine to govern, that the legislature determined to put less initiatives on the ballot. We have the power of the vote here. We don't need the initiative process. We need the initiative process to procure debt, but we do not need the initiative process to do almost, I can't think of anything else in this House that we need to do, or to raise taxes without a 2/3 vote. So, I mean, if we can get a 2/3 vote in here to do all of these things, which we've certainly seen that periodically we can do, we should not be throwing them down to the voters. We ought to own up here in this House and run the state of California. That's why our reputation is diminished. It's not because of any of the games or any of the politics. The people don't believe we can solve their problems, and we need to start solving their problems right here, right now, and not try to impede them from taking situations into their own hands, but alleviate the problems so they don't have to take things into their own hands. I request a no vote.